Hello everyone. Well, today I'm going to look at collage, and I'm going to start by showing you some of the things I've made with collage. I've been in my attic clearing out years and years of cards and bits and pieces, and some of the vintage, some of these are 45 years old, and some of the designs are really beautiful. All baby cards I had, and wedding cards. I can't keep hold of them forever, so I've been through them, and different gift wraps and bits and bobs, magazines I've kept, and I thought I'd have a go at doing some collage. And I made a large piece yesterday, and these are the things I've made with them. So I've made some cards, and what I did was made a large collage, and then I've cut out some oblong shapes, square shapes, and then mounted them on white card, and then I've added a word. I think they've come out quite nice. I'm rather pleased with them. Lovely colours in some of them. And so it's amazing what you can do with just some bits and bobs from having a clear out. And I've also made some tags. This was taken from a birthday card my sister sent me. And the background is part of the collage. And then I had lots of pieces of paper from work and studying, and so I did a plainer background with those, and then cut out some of the card pictures and made some nice tags to go in some journals. And rather than, well, the rest will be going for recycling, of course, but I picked out the ones I want. This was from an old book that was up in the attic as well, and some old diary pages. So I'll go through how I made my collage with you. So firstly, I got a piece of white card. This was from a file from one of my study books, and it's got an old sort of rusty mark on there, so I'll use the other side and we'll stick the bits and bobs on there. And then I've got bits and bobs that I'm going to tear up. This is from a big bag that my mum bought me something in when she was in America. And there's some wrapping paper and some magazine pieces because I like the colours there. And then, as I say, I've got some of the cards that I've taken the backs off. So what I'll do is I'll tear some of these up, and then I'll pop them, arrange them on the card, and we'll see what that looks like. So I'll spare you all the tearing, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Here we are. I've torn up some pieces, and it's really just a matter of personal choice, or you can play around with these for a long time. And I've gone for a couple of colours with the greens and the purples. Try not to have too much colour, although again that can be very nice, having a rainbow of colour. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ink around the, where's my ink? I'm going to ink around the written pieces, just to give them a little bit of edging. And this is an old dictionary page. Of course, you've got to be a little bit careful with wording, that there's nothing that would offend someone if you're making a card or something, so just check the wording there. But we're going to build on this. This is just the first layer, so I'm going to stick all this down, and then we're going to add paint to it and some stenciling. So I'll go ahead and I might edge that as well, and I'll go ahead and stick it all down, and then we'll come back with a finished board, and then I'll show you how we carry on adding to it. Okay, be back in a few minutes. Right, here we are. I've stuck all the bits to the board. Doesn't look quite how we left it, but if you want it exactly how you've placed it, then the best thing to do is take a photograph of it, and then it's like a jigsaw, then you can just put it where you want it. But I'm happy fiddling about and just trying to arrange it. And I've stuck all the bits down. I've used a glue stick just to do that, because it's just on card. So now this is the messy bit. So I'm going to add some paint, and it's just a matter of splodging some on and then wiping it along with some sponges, and so you can wipe it off if you want, if you're not happy with it, but I'll see how it goes. I must move these cards out of the way because we don't want more paint on those, because I am a very messy worker. Right, that's my sponge. I've got a little bit of white. I've got this old yogurt pot here. It's very handy. And I'm just going to wipe just bits and pieces around. And then I'm going to add a little blue. I've just got poster paints here. Don't need very much. And I'll put a little bit of blue on. I always think, oh gosh, what have I done? It's looking so nice before, but just got to be brave, and you will end up with something with lots of layers and looking very nice. And if you don't like it, well, there's more of these bits and pieces to try again. So I'll just put that in there. I'm going to splotch some yellow on. Do for the yellow. Again, I'm just going to work that in a bit. Just so you don't see too many of the lines. There we are. That's enough. Okay. Then what I do is I get a bit of paper towel and just wipe off any excess in areas where I want it to a little bit more opaque. Okay, so now we've got to leave it to dry before we go to the next stage, which is doing a little bit of stenciling, putting some lettering on and shapes. So I'll let that dry and I'll come back again in a little while. Okay, and we're back. It's reasonably dry now. And so this stage I want to put some stencils on. I got lots of things like leaf shapes, but I don't want to put anything specific like I just want to put a some circles on, or some, let's see, I've got this wrapping that I'll just put some little circles on here and there, just some shapes rather than any formed things like leaves. And I've got some mandala shapes here, so I might use that one. I will put a few letters on. I quite like letters dotted about. So what I do is just jump in really. For this I'm going to use a pinky colour, and I've just got an old sponge which I load up. And the good thing about this, if you do put something where you don't particularly like it, you can just add another piece of paper or some more paint. So just be quite random about this. Oh, that's not the shape. I don't want a line as such. So that will do for those. Right, what else have we got? I've got some decking here. It was cut off when we were doing our decking. I'm not sure that'll work. We'll have a go. Oh, that's a little bit of mark making there. Okay, enough pink maybe. We'll go on to the purple colour. Don't quite know what this one's called. Just a generic. And we'll use the mandala shape. Okay, that's enough of that. Right, so now I want to put a little bit of script on. I think I'll use the purple again. I'll just load this up with some ink. And off we go. Just randomly. This will be cut up into chunks, so I want to get a little bit on every little chunk, but you could always add it later if you're not happy with it. So I think that's probably enough. Okay, so the next thing I want to add is some letters. So I'm just going to add those randomly again. Okay, so I'll just add those. Okay, well, I'm not sure what happened with the camera. It ran out of space or something, but I've put the letters on different places and it's all dry. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use these for cards, I think, rather than tags. And so I'm going to cut them into different shapes and see what they look like on the white cardstock. Got to cut these edges off. So I'll go ahead and cut them up. I'll probably just use the guillotine and go straight across and section them off that way, because it doesn't really matter where you cut them, because you've got nice images around all the areas. So, and they do look rather nice when they're cut into oblongs. And then you can always add to them if you're not happy. Okay, well I'll just show you what they look like when they're cut. Okay, so I've cut them out and I've just placed them on this card just for you to see what they look like. So they look rather effective, cut into smaller shapes. I've had to stick down a few edges. So I'm going to use some of this card. Oops. And these are the other bits here. It's quite a nice one. That was the soap paper. A little, like a postmark on there, which is quite nice. And you could cut them down even smaller. So with this card, I'm going to pick out the best pieces and I'll just fold them over and make cards rather like I did with these, and add some words to them. And that's rather fiddly, so I'll do that off camera, but it's just a question of marking out the edging, and then for me, because I haven't got the right size card, cutting up here and then bending over and making a card and sticking it down. Might place a word on there as well. I've got the words from the Far East kit that I've used before, which I'll put the link below. Okay, I'll save you having to watch all my fiddling about, and I'll come back with the finished product. Right, back again, and I've mounted all the cards just on this old cardstock. Some of it's a little bit yellowing, but it's alright. And now I'm playing about with the words. I've taken some words from the Dreamers kit and also the Far Eastern kit that I had left over, and I've just torn them out, inked them up, and just playing about with them really. So I'm probably going to add a word to most of them. Some of them I'll just leave, I think, plain. That's rather a lovely one. Got reflect on there at the moment. It looks like trees here in the background with the sea and a meadow. I rather like that. And then this one I had a little bit left over, so I cut up the square just to make something a little bit different, which is what we always try to do at art college, just to. And then I'm going to add a word. I'm not sure whether to put a word on there or on the edge there. Now this card is the back of an old birthday card, which was perfectly fine. It has got the barcode on there, but it's fine to write in. So I just did something a little bit different there. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm rather pleased with all of those, and to add to my other collection. So I'll finish those off, and then I'm going to do some more backgrounds, because I think there's lots of things we can do with them. I'll do some plain backgrounds with just writing and graphs and things on, and then the more colourful ones as well. And then I'll come back and show you what I'm making with them. Okay, that's all for today, but I'm not going to stop crafting because it's absolutely pouring down outside. So what better than to sit in my little room here and do some crafting. So I hope you'll join me again, and see you next time. Bye for now.